Hey guys, welcome in. If you're in here, just let me know if you can hear me. Never done this on YouTube before, so just want to make sure we're all good. If you're coming in now, welcome. This is the Spider-Man Alone live on YouTube. We haven't gone live on YouTube yet, so this is exciting. If you have any questions, just drop them down in that chat. Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? What's going on? Okay, I'm starting to see some chats cycle in. This is good. I'm wondering if I should do this with the mask. Welcome in, welcome in. Drop those comments. Let me know what questions you guys have. Let me know how's it going, guys. Happy Halloween. Welcome in. What are you guys doing for Halloween? Who's going trick-or-treating? Who's tricking more than treating? Let me know. All right, so we got a first question coming in. How old is Peter in this film or series? Peter's 16 years old. Peter's about 16 years old. So I'm gonna shave. What other questions you guys have? When do you expect to release the series? All right, so thank you, Dead Channel, for asking that question. We are in pre-production right now. We actually just got out of a work session where we are writing our episode 1. And it's come along very, very good. A lot of work to reinvent, a lot of work to reimagine, and a lot of work to stay true to what is already there and what's already authentic for the character. So our ideal timeline is that, it's starting to get winter time right now, so we're gonna let the winter pass, and probably in spring of next year, very beginning of next year, move into production, start filming, film our series within, that hopefully first chunk, a couple months, move into any additional photography that we need to do in that period, and then editing, visual effects, sound mixing, music is all going to take time. It's all going to be kind of worked in sequence with what we're doing. So could be next year, could be middle end of next year, if all moves right. For me, the most important thing is just making sure we get that story down. The story is the most important thing. I know we're all here for our love of the character, and I want to keep you guys here with how good our story is and seeing something we haven't really seen before. Which, someone we haven't seen before is what Quinn Middleton just asked about who our villain is. He wasn't in the trailer, and he... we have announced him just subtly, but we haven't had any official announcement yet. Like, again, once we move into production, once we have all the stuff rolling, we'll have some announcements. We'll have some cast announcements. We'll have some costumes and stuff to show you guys. But our villain is Chameleon. Chameleon is the first villain Spider-Man ever encountered in the comics. We've never seen Chameleon live action. We've seen him done in the animated series here and there, but never live action. So we thought that we would take a crack at him and also kind of reimagine him and make him more threatening and more of an adversary to where Peter is at this point in his life, right? Year 1, or really year 0, Spider-Man story, fresh off the loss of Uncle Ben, the financial hardships that their family's going through, and that mental instability that Peter already has within that own environment, within that time period. Well, how does Chameleon take advantage of that and manipulate his mind even more? So I think there's a really interesting story there that to me seems obvious, but we've never seen it done before. Ninja, go get it. Your trailer's amazing. Can't wait for the release. What's the general story for Spider-Man? Oh man, if we told you that, then we kind of spoil the whole season. Maybe I'll give you a taste. Some of our story, obviously Spider-Man Alone. So that's kind of revolving around the loss of Uncle Ben. I know the origin, but I feel like we might not ever have seen the origin in the way that we're going to do it, which is really exciting. So the story really is about finding yourself, finding your identity, understanding your self-image from who you know yourself to be, right? The morals that you grew up having or have come to learn throughout your own seeking, and really being like a beacon of truth, a beacon of love, and a beacon of authenticity for who you are and not who the world tells you to be. So that kind of arc is paralleled with our adversary chameleon, who can kind of be anyone. There's a lot of themes around image or around identity, and I think identity is such a crucial part to our whole culture right now, our whole society, about growing up, even right, coming of age, like figuring out who you are is the question, who am I? So we get to see that question posed, and we get to see the process of figuring that out, and the obstacles and conflicts that come in when we have a villain who weaponizes that very thing. So thanks for that question, man. That was a great question. What does it take to be inspired and execute on a project like this? Man, Zachary Allen Theory, thank you for asking that question. It takes a lot of water, food, time, patience. Man, it's taxing. It's taxing, uh, but it's so rewarding too, because that's what I love about fan films is this all comes from a place of passion. Like no one in their right mind, I'll tell you this, no one in their right mind would be doing this amount of work, this level of world building, character building, story for free. And yet you have these amazing fan passion projects that just come out of nowhere seemingly, and they just pour into the community so much, and they give their heart literally on a silver platter, and it's a love letter to the character. And I feel like that's all we could ask for from art is like, how can you share your experience and how can you share your love with the world and try your best to make it a better place. And I feel like the fact that it's nonprofit, and not just speaking on our own project, but speaking on all the projects that come before us and all the projects that are going to come after, man, that level of work is there no matter what. And as a perfectionist myself, it's times 10. So I could probably have the whole season written already right now. But to me, I'm working every single detail. I'm working to make it as potent, as powerful, as unique, as original, and as justifiable, right, in our own world. It's set in a modern world, not in the 60s. So as justifiable as it can be to what our life is like today. I really want our audience to feel like Spider-Man. So that's a big undertaking, man. So it's a lot. It's not easy, but the support that you guys offer us is all we could really ask for, you know. We got, what was it like working with such an amazing cinematographer, editor, and composer extraordinaire? And that question is from the very own Brooks Leby, who was those very things for their teaser. Brooks has been a great friend of mine. I got to know him in college. He's a really talented individual, a great cinematographer, editor, composer, all. He is an extraordinaire, and it was great to work with him. He was very generous with his time and with his abilities and with his equipment and everything that he was able to do for us. And that teacher that you guys love, like, he's such a big part of making that happen. And he really came from a place of love and support and wanting to just help get this thing to the next level. And honestly, if it wasn't for him and for this teaser, like, we wouldn't be on live with you guys today. You know, we wouldn't have the hype and the community that we already have before we've even started production. So it's a real gift that I don't take lightly. So thank you, man. Will he get a more classic suit at any point in the series? Yeah, so that's something a lot of people are loving, the homemade suit, the suit that you kind of see in the series. And I'll be real, I made that for the teaser. We're working with Sensational Spidey. If you guys are in the Spider-Man community, you know him. Big following, Sensational Spidey. He makes custom 3D file, face shells, lenses. He makes suits. Somehow we were able to talk him into coming on board and working for us. And I said from the beginning I wanted a 7-piece. Spider-Man in the comics, at least in the original comics, man, he had a 7-piece. It was gloves, it was a shirt, it was pants, it was all of it. And there's something so practical about that, something like that has such utility and so unique about that. And I think part of it was just like, I want a 7-piece suit. So that was something I was dead set on getting. And Sensational Spidey had made a 7-piece suit like a year or two ago just for himself. His very first 7-piece suit he made for himself, I think, came out amazing. So knowing how much he's grown over the years, just sort of reached out and connected with him. And he's our costume designer on Spider-Man alone. So he will be designing a pretty classic, but also more of like what that might look like today. Still homemade, like it's the Spider-Man suit, and it has that homemade feel, but it might not be as homemade as the sweatpants and stuff that I was able to do. That being said, that suit that you guys know of already does have a place within our series. We all know Peter kind of goes through his homemade suits, his wrestling suits, and of the like. So I always wanted to show something that could feel like a 15, 16-year-old could make. And I think with a little time, a little patience, and some of the resources that we know Spidey gets to have early on in his career, we can see a more iconic and put together superhero suit than what you guys have already seen. So yes, we do have one. It'll come, and I'm pretty sure it'll break the internet when we show it. Did we take inspiration from one specific piece of media or all of it in general? Yeah, all of it. I mean, Amazing Fantasy 15 is the first issue, the first introduction of Spider-Man. It's so iconic and worked for so many reasons, and we really deconstructed why that worked and why that was able to work in the 60s. And we are reimagining how that could work today, thinking about the fears of nuclear war and radiation at the time in the 50s and 60s with the kind of Cold War and all those things happening. That's why a character like Spider-Man was able to work at that time, because he eased the fears of the Cold War. He eased the fears and gave the audience catharsis at a time where the Comics Code Authority was coming in and censoring books and saying you can't do horror anymore, that these are bad for children. And so Stan Lee and Steve Ditko were really ingenious and went about a way to introduce these more horror elements like spiders and webs and nuclear war and radiation and all these things, and really ended up making that some really like three-dimensional beautiful character that we all know and love. So it's like we're taking what worked before, and it's not just that. I say Amazing Fantasy 15 because that's kind of where our story is starting. We want to start with our own Amazing Fantasy 15, our own origin for this Spider-Man, but see it in the world today. So we're just taking from what worked, and we're also kind of translating, right? We're like redefining, okay, well, those things don't really hold up now, but how does it hold up here? So, we see the kind of things that we all know and love, but we might just see them happen in a way we haven't seen before, that I think is much more culturally relevant. So we're taking from everything. We're taking from Ultimate Spider-Man. We're taking from the movies. We're taking from the animated series. Man, this whole thing kind of started with just a deep love for the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series. So we're really pulling from everything. The old comics hold something so rich, and yet the newer comics that are out or that have come out over the past 10 years have really done a great job in and of themselves of reinventing the lore. So it's something we're inspired by, that we take from every now and then, but we're also really, really confident in adding our own creativity and originality to the mix. Also, you guys, like, we want you guys to be a source of inspiration. This is a fan series, this is a fan film, not just because we're fans making it, but because we're in community with all of you guys. So I want to stress that we're a family, and that you guys have just as much say, just as much pull, just as much passion, just as much to offer what it is that we're doing, because what it is we're doing, I want to do together. I want to do with you guys. So if you guys have ideas, if you guys have always thought of it in this way, if you guys have favorite comics, if you guys have favorite iterations, if you guys have your own concepts, like, just drop it, send it, DM it, like, be a part of this project, you know what I mean? Spread the word, feel like you have some say, because I really want you guys to. Are there going to be sequels? E. Paul, thanks for that question, man. I think it's too early to say right now. I think it really depends on the sort of legacy and impact that we're able to leave our audience with season 1. That being said, knowing the prep that we're doing to make this as good of a story as it can be, and make this a new, potentially definitive version of Spider-Man, uh, anything is possible. And yeah, we think about this character in all versions and all future and past times, and anything is possible. But I think what we're really committed to right now is taking it one step at a time, making what we have right now in the present the best thing it can be. Because if we were to have a successful future with this project, that is going to come from being so articulate and so clear and so creative with what we can do right now. Hey, everyone's saying hello. Did you study film and acting? This is a great question. Ninja Go Geta, did you study acting and film from film school? How long were you in film school before you got started? So I didn't go to film school, but I did go to an acting school. I did go to college and I studied acting. Um, the woman who's playing Gwen Stacy in our series, Autumn McNutt, she also went to college and studied acting. We are both BFA acting majors. So what that means is Bachelor of Fine Arts, meaning we hold a degree. We hold a degree in acting because we studied in it for that long and we study that intensively. I also had the privilege in college of being able to study abroad. I went to Italy for about a semester, and I trained at Accademia dell'Arte in Italy, and I trained theater there. So I've been acting and doing film kind of my whole life, and then obviously wanting to make a career out of it, wanting to take it seriously, and wanting to study, I ended up going to college and auditioning for my way to get into that program, and then having a good enough audition to be accepted into that program, and then I was fortunate enough to study and train. So again, that's a great question because it tells you a little bit more about me. It also tells you why our thing kind of stands out from others. We are coming to this not only as fans, not only with immense passion and love for the character and the stories and what we're able to do, but we have experience. We have experience and we have training. We have degrees to back up what it is that we're doing. So, a lot of fan films come from a great place and people give it their all. But you don't always see trained actors. You don't always see industry professionals or people working in the industry at the time creating those same projects. So we're kind of merging those. We're marrying those two things together. We're bringing in us expertise. We're bringing in experience. We're bringing in training. We're bringing in real actors. We're bringing in real filmmakers, and we're bringing the same heart and the same substance that fan films have always made. So it's our way of hopefully leveling up what it is that we can all do. And I think that there's so much talent. There's so much talent, not even just from the artists in the films that I see, but man, the Spider-Man community is so rich with costume designers and concept artists and digital artists. There's so many amazing people within this community, and I just want to shine a spotlight on how talented you guys are too. Sorry I'm late to the live. When is the movie coming out? So it's a series. It's a TV series, guys. It's something you'll be able to stream just like any Netflix show. The amount of episodes isn't determined yet, but we're hoping that the series, or at least the first episode, can come out next year. We're looking to go into production, meaning we're looking to start filming in the spring of next year. So we're gonna work through the winter. We're gonna really clean up what we have and make it the best we can. And then once that sun comes back out, it's a little bit warmer. We're gonna make this. Because of the name of the movie, I'm guessing everyone Peter loves is dead, or am I completely wrong? It's not true. It's not true. I think we have an interesting opportunity to allow Peter to understand who it is that he actually loves and what it means to experience loss. Most importantly, what it means to love yourself amid that loss. This is like I've said, a year zero Spider-Man, meaning we might see the origin, wink, wink. We might be in the first very throes of what it means to become Spider-Man, of how he became Spider-Man. To me, this is a story of becoming. So season one is paired with Chameleon because as we see these characters and sort of these younger, more unpolished versions of themselves in high school, looking to become who we all know them to be, right? We're also pairing that with this villain who kind of can become everyone. So it's this whole war between the mind, between identity. Um, but loss is a very integral part to the story because we all know Uncle Ben dies, and we kind of show the process of what it is to grieve and also what it is to heal. I don't just want to perpetuate some type of edgy story or some dark tone just for the sake of having a dark tone. I really want to show the effect that it has on our character, on Peter. Like, if we know he spends his entire life like being Spider-Man because of this one moment, then I really want to see the moments leading up to that and the direct aftermath of that moment. Really seeing what it means for him. Really seeing the that switch, that turning point into becoming who we all know and love him to be. And making it a series is so great because we don't just see that happen in 20 minutes of a movie. Guys, we're stretching that out over the course of a season, potentially out of the course of multiple seasons, right? We really get to sit with these characters, see them make decisions, see them choose good, see them choose bad, see them fail. And it's all building their character. And I think that that's so beautiful about what it is that we get to do. Will Gwen or MJ or someone like that be in the series? Lord Orange asks. Gwen and MJ are both going to be in the series, guys. Our main characters are our high school characters, which are Peter, Gwen, Harry, and MJ. So we kind of have a similar lineup, if you will, like the Spectacular Spider-Man series, right? You've seen all those characters featured there. But we're going about it in a really new, refreshing, interesting way. We're actually starting off where these are our main characters, but they don't know each other. They're like, none of them are really friends yet. They're all kind of on their own individual paths. They're all seeking their own goals, and they're all actually a little bit more connected than they thought. And that's what kind of brings them together. We kind of see these individuals, these people from different walks of life who don't belong in a friendship together, find that friendship potentially, and build that hopefully over the course of a season or more. Are you going to use Unreal Engine to build the places you can't go, or are you using real places to film? Yeah, we're going to find a balance, man. We're going to find a balance between, I don't know if Unreal Engine will be our exact thing. I know it's a super, super efficient software. We might use Unreal Engine, we might use Blender. It's really going to be up to our VFX team and what they're comfortable with and what they're able to do. But we're going to use practical, to answer that question, we're going to use practical places, buildings. So if you guys didn't know this, I live in Atlanta, Georgia right now, and that's where we're going to be filming this production, which Atlanta is like a small New York. We have a huge cityscape. We actually have a midtown here, everything. So I'm hoping we can get practical locations or at least be able to build sets. There's a lot of sound stages out here that film production companies rent out, and they're able to build sets on these sound stages. So if we can't find the right place, we can build the set. If we can't build the set, our last resort is to film on green screen. And if we can film on green screen, that's still a win because we're gonna have qualified VFX artists being able to do what we need to be done. But to me, the things that are going to tell the story the best, the things that are going to inform our actors the best, the things that are going to be the most beautiful thing to look at is the real thing. So we're going to scour the city up and down, and we're going to bring New York to you guys. How many episodes of the series are you planning to make? That's undefined right now. I don't want to throw out an answer and then have that change. I'm committed to more longer episodes and more episodes. The only thing that I can say right now is where my mind is at is I want this to be the equivalent of some form of Netflix series. So, the types of episodes, the duration, and however many episodes. Sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 20 on these Netflix shows. I want you to feel more in that ballpark. I want you to take this project a little bit more seriously in the sense of it's going to deliver what these Netflix streaming, Disney Plus, if you will, these types of things delivered. It's going to be at that level, guys. And it's going to be that kind of length of episode, that quality of episode. And we're going to be able to tell that story over the course of that amount of episodes. So right now, I'm not going to throw out a number. But we have high hopes. We have high expectations. So it'll be something worth sitting down, worth binging even. Although, I want to recommend taking your time with it and really absorbing what it is that we're doing with this project. How long will the movie be? The series, not a movie. All right, great correction. So I kind of just answered that. Again, yeah, you can expect it to be. Right now, we're doing season one. Let's say anywhere from 5 to 10 episodes, potentially, and anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 an episode. Probably don't want to go over that, just for the quality of stuff that we'd have to. You want to maintain a specific level of quality over the course of a season and over the course of an episode. So a lot of this stuff is going to be dependent upon the funds that we raise, guys. The community that we're building right now is so integral because we're all supporting each other. So the better the series can be is going to be the more support that you guys can offer, the more that we can all dig in and make stuff happen together. So again, I have high expectations. I have a high standard. We're approaching this to be the best we can absolutely make it. And that's what we anticipate delivering no matter what. Will you get a haircut to fit your beautiful hair under the mask, Lord Orange? Man, should I go get the mask and put it on right now, show you how it fits over this? Last night was, today's Halloween. Happy Halloween, guys, if you're coming in now. But last night I went to a Halloween party and I wore the suit, I wore the mask. Man, there's no trouble getting it over this helmet of hair. I do think I'll get a little bit of a haircut for the series right now. It's a little bit untamed, a little bit of a scruffy actor vibe, but yeah, I have no trouble getting the mask on right now. And honestly, if I cut my hair, the mask might not fit as well. It was sewn with what I got right now. For the longest time, Spider-Man fan films, this is by Quentin Middleton, guys, were made. For the longest time since Spider-Man fan films were made, there's been debates and comparisons on the physique of Spider-Man. What are your thoughts on this? How are you going about this in your film? Yeah, man. I think physique changes, and I think it's really important to show some type of transformation, some type of change, right? Yep, big change. Some type of superhero physique, and that's something I'm working for now. If you guys are following along from our Instagram and you're here, thanks for being here. I've kind of been posting some progress pics there. I've been really taking my fitness seriously. I've been bodybuilding lately and really working to get a more Spider-Man quote-unquote physique. But to me, that's also a very athletic and lean physique. Something that we're very inspired by is approaching a look that could be attainable by some 15, 16-year-old, right? And I think his physique will change. He'll grow over the course of time, right, as he becomes a man, just like any kid. But there is some type of change there. So honestly, I've been studying a lot of spiders. I've been really interested in spiders and the build of their body. And of course, it's like, what weird spiders? They have like this really big round body. They like look fat. Like what? And I'm like, well, if you look at some spiders, it's really interesting because their body, their bones are actually the outside. Like they kind of have an exoskeleton and all the soft materials on the inside. And their muscles are like actually some spiders, they pump a fluid into their legs like hydraulics. And when they pump this fluid, like that's what allows their legs to move and that's what allows them to jump so high. So obviously the anatomy isn't a direct comparison, but there is a very interesting, I think this is the creepy factor of spiders, a very lean aspect to spiders and their anatomy where you can really see every detail. If you guys type in on Google, like spider anatomy, like at least the underside of them, man, you can see like every leg, everything. That's something I'm really interested in. I'm interested in having something that kind of feels superhero while also something that kind of feels freaky. Like it's a little freaky to see someone so lean and so muscular and so with so much definition. And we do equate that to being a superhero, but I really want to lean into the spider aspect of things. So I think that's what kind of makes our thing stand out as well. Practical is your favorite special effects. That's right. Practical effects are king. We're doing a lot of stunt work. I've been training a lot of stunt work. We're going to do as much as we can with wires, with real built sets, with practical effects as in practical explosions, all the light guys. We're going to deliver. Practical is as real as you can get. And when practical fails or when we can't, because it's not any cheaper, it's, an investment nonetheless. That's where we're going to be able to utilize our amazing VFX team and utilize the special effects. And, we're going to make those just as good. Because, again, it's about maintaining this level of quality to tell our story properly. And then it all comes back to story. I know a lot of times we're looking at these fan films and we want to see, our big blockbuster CGI and all these things, but I think sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. Aristotle says that spectacle is the lowest of importance on the list of writing, on telling a story. And the first is plot, second is character, right? Then you go through thought, diction, music, and the last thing is spectacle. Spectacle, guys, is the special effects. Spectacle is the CGI. And when you have heightened reality, right? When you have characters that are kind of out of this world, that's how we've come to know them. But I don't want to sacrifice having whatever particular special effect at the expense of the story. So to me, what that means is having a strong enough story where we can utilize special effects, make them feel justified, and also use them wisely so that they're as good as they can be. It makes no sense having a whole episode be all special effects when we could have an episode be practical effects, real storytelling, character driven, authentic, dramatic, real fight scenes. And then, when we need the special effects, for those to come in and those to be just as intricate as all the work we've done before. All right, someone wants to know, are you going to be posting little teasers here and there? For what I mean is not really trailers, just your progress so far. Absolutely. You guys, if you're coming in now, welcome. If you're leaving, thanks for being with us. This has been a great live so far. We will be posting more and more updates. You guys can follow our Instagram if you haven't already. It's at Spider-Man Alone Series. If you go to Instagram, type in at Spider-Man Alone Series, you can follow us. We've had a great following there as well. We've posted a lot of pictures, a lot of updates already. But as soon as, like I said, we're out of this writing phase where we have that script, we're ready to move into production, guys, that's when we're going to get cooking. We're taking so much time right now because, like I said, story is most important. All the things you're going to see down the line are results of the story that we're working to craft right now, that we're so diligent on, that we're pouring so much into. But I know you guys are ready for that, and I'm ready for that, and I know what it's gonna look like. I know what it's gonna be like, and it's gonna be legendary, guys. Like, it's gonna break the internet. So we're doing as much as we can right now to make that worthwhile, and I hope you guys feel like it is. So we'll have more updates as we're coming along. This live is even an update with you guys asking questions. But once that script is done, guys, then the suit's getting sewn. Then we're locking down locations. We're hiring our cast. We're hiring our crew. We're hiring a DP, a cinematographer, right? We've already had a lot of networking opportunities with people within the industry, people in the fan film community reaching out, wanting to work with us, me working on other projects now. So we're building our circle, and we're going to bring in the best people we can. And as soon as we're in that phase, guys, you'll see so many updates. It'll be overwhelming. And we'll also do our best to not spoil stuff because, this whole thing is leading up to a gift, which our gift to you guys is season 1. Will Peter ever be happy? It's a good question. I think he will. I think Peter is happy. I think Peter's as happy as he is sad. I don't think it's one or the other. I think sometimes we split the difference and we view things through black and white, duality, good, wrong. And I think life is so much more detailed. There's so much more depth to our experiences, to our moment to moment, to our relationships that I don't know, sometimes I'm happy and sad at the same time. I think it's up to Peter to really rationalize his experiences and understand what he has before it's gone. I think a lot of times Peter's sadness comes from him overlooking the happiness and the goodness that he has, and even sometimes making the wrong choices and squandering that. And it's through regret, it's through guilt, it's through what if, it's through if only I did this instead, right? That's why we love the character, because he makes mistakes. And I think the balancing act is to be okay making the mistakes, but don't let every moment be a mistake as well, And that's really up to seizing your destiny. And I hope that we get to see Peter grow just as much as we see Spider-Man grow. And that's the whole point of the show. That's the whole point of this season and any season that were to come after, if you guys want that. What's your favorite Spider-Man movie? Mine is the Sam Raimi trilogy. Man, I grew up on Raimi. I grew up on Raimi. I think we all did. I know that movie by heart, especially the first one. I had it on VHS. If you guys know VHS, I used to watch it every day after school. Man, I used to come home and recite that. Um, yeah, that was like my religion. So I grew up on the Sam Raimi, but I'm not really partial to one iteration of Spider-Man. I think they all hold good things. I think I don't know, maybe there hasn't been a definitive one, and that's also the kind of call that I have to coming through and to adding my own name to the mix, to adding um, my own perspective, right? What I feel like a Spider-Man adaptation could be, and making it different. I think it's important too. It's like sometimes people make this version of Spider-Man, or we've seen movies that are a little bit different version of Spider-Man. You've got to differentiate yourself from what's come before. I think a lot of times fan films can um, be impassioned because of what they've seen, and so they're looking to replicate that same thing. And while I think that's a great love letter to that artist who made that interpretation, I don't think it's up to you as an artist to just recycle their interpretation or to make what they've done over again or to use their voice when you're an individual. You're just as important. You have something as amazing to say as Sam Raimi, Mark Webb, John Watts, any of us. So it's really about using your voice, speaking from your experience, and making it your own. I think that's important not only to set yourself apart, but to tell a story we haven't seen yet. I think we're all looking for something that we haven't seen yet, something that we can relate to, um, something that's even a little taboo. You know, we haven't really seen before. We haven't seen this from a superhero. Wow, that's so refreshing. That's so relatable. Um, and we are those people. We are the relatable people. We are the people going through the stuff. You know, so write down your experiences too, guys. Make your own fan films. You know, I want to support you guys just as much as you're here supporting me. It means the world. It means the world. Thank you. What are you most excited about for this Peter Parker? I'm excited for him to grow. I'm excited for him to fail. It sounds a little cynical, but like the best drama, right? It's like learning about screenwriting and all this stuff is like you have your storylines, right? You have your character goals, like what they're looking to get, their intention. But the story is only interesting when you give your character an intention, but you give them obstacles preventing them from getting that thing, or having to adapt, or overcoming, but now there's a new thing. And it sounds messed up. It sounds like you have them just running on a circle, but that's honestly how we all grow. If you think about it, obstacles, tension, pain even is how we grow. When you're working out, man, your muscles are getting sore. You're ripping, you're tearing apart your muscles, you're destroying your body so that it can rebuild and replenish and grow on top of what was already there. So that's the whole trick to stories. Is you gotta have obstacles, you gotta have problems. You've got to make it hard for them. So I'm excited to really make it difficult for Peter when he's already in the most difficult place already, when he's already at his lowest, redefining what it means to be low, redefining what it means to be high, and seeing that entire arc, not just one or the other, but seeing what it is to grow, guys, seeing what it is to find some type of security, to find family, to find your happiness, to find your identity when the world tells you otherwise. Do you already have a plan laid out for the story, even though you don't know how many episodes you're going to do yet? Are you going to hire additional writers for furthering your story? Yeah, we do have a plan, guys. So that's why I'm also being a little like a little mystique about the whole thing. Is if I told you guys everything right now, I'd be spoiling your fun. I'd be spoiling your experience as the audience. I'd be spoiling the suspense, the twist, the thrills, all the things that we're working so hard to put into our story, to justify, to make satisfying, pay off. All of those things need to be a mystery to you right now, so that you can experience them for the first time in our series. That's our duty to you guys. So as much as I want to share with you guys, I also need to protect that barrier so you guys can have the experience that I'm working so hard to give you. We do have a plan laid out. We do know our outline for the season. We know our outline. What we're doing now is we know our outline for the season, and we're working episode to episode to build that up, right, like a staircase. and get us there in the most efficient, the most beautiful, the most interesting way. So we do have a plan. We are working. We're I think ahead of the game. We're not really behind. We're just making sure that every moment is worth it for you guys. Are we gonna hire additional writers? That I don't know, man. I'm really open to more qualified people coming in. Like I said, I've already made connections within the fan film community. So, if you guys know Spider-Man Convergence, I'll probably send the script to Zion. If you know Marvel Adventures, Spider-Man Monsters of Manhattan, Brandon's a great friend of mine now. I'll probably send him a script, get his opinions, have his writers look at it. If you guys know Alex Hunter of High Top Films, send him the script, get him to look at it. And if any of those guys or any of the people I send it to, any of the people I have read it, have any notes, any critiques, any ideas, I'm going to be open to that because I want the story to be the best it can be. And the best it can be isn't just dependent upon how I feel about it, but is dependent upon the impact it can have, how clear it is, how many other people can understand it just as much as I do. So it's definitely going to go through its own like conveyor belt of eyes and helping make it what it needs to be. But it's got to start with me, it's got to start here, and that's where it is right now. So I'll take a couple more questions if you guys have them. Again, thanks for coming in so far. If you guys are leaving, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the first time we've done a YouTube on YouTube, a YouTube live. We've done one Instagram live before, and that was great as well. So yeah, we'll do more for these. Again, happy Halloween. If you guys have any more questions, drop them below. Otherwise, we can kind of wrap it up. We'll be doing much more lives. We'll have much more updates as we continue along. Thank you for being here already. You're early. You guys are the early birds, and I think it's so beautiful that you guys are here already because you are going to be the few who have seen this from the inception till the end and then whatever it is afterwards. And I think that's a really important place to be as an audience because it connects you to the material and it connects you to who we are as filmmakers. And I think it's also really informative because I'm sure there are future filmmakers out here, whether that's fan films or more, that are going to make their own things. So if you guys can learn anything from our project, from our process, from our lives, from what it is that we put out, I think that's a great gift and something that I'm honored is just the side effect of fulfilling this passion for Spider-Man. Are you going to be doing backflips and throwing cars as Spider-Man? Yeah, man. Yeah, I can do a backflip already. I can throw a couple cars too. Just kidding. Yeah, man, all of it's going to happen. I think that's sort of leaning more into the action aspect of the series, which is definitely going to be there. I'm someone who's, number one, trained in martial arts their whole life, who takes fitness and kind of fighting seriously, and I've become involved in ATL Stunts, which ATL Stunts is a big stunt place here in Atlanta, if you didn't know. They're involved in the film industry right now. I see those guys on film sets every day, and then I get to go train with them, every now and then, and work on these sessions and perfecting these different techniques, these different fighting styles, choreography, wire work. And so my aim is to be able to utilize those resources, bring them on as the stunt team, and really develop some awesome action, some stuff that we haven't really seen from Spider-Man. He kind of, if you guys already noticed, he has these hand wraps, kind of more an homage to this sort of like wrestling, come up, brawling aspect. And I feel like we've never seen an angry Peter kind of brawl, kind of fight its demons, just kind of go for it. It's always this more high-flying acrobatic thing, and I think we got to work our way up to that. So I really want to justify our action. I don't want to have action just for the sake of action, but when we do, know that it's going to be good. We have a couple teases on our Instagram that are just some stuff we've worked on and nothing complete yet. I think you guys are going to be really amazed at what it is that we're able to do and how, not brutal, but like how connected all of our action is going to feel, which I think is also going to set our Spider-Man apart. Any advice for filmmaking? This is a great question, guys. If you are filmmakers, I am too. I have just as many questions as you, but I'm thankful you're here because this is a community that we're developing as well, that we can really bounce off of each other, that there's opportunities to learn. And if you're not filmmakers, man, but you've always had an interest in it, be interested and ask the questions because this is going to feed you in anything you can do. I have a philosophy where I think everything's connected. I think we're all connected. I think we're all here because there's something connecting us. And whether we're on the same life paths, whether we're in the same career, whether we have the same interest, it doesn't even matter. Because something that you're good at or something that you have a love for, there's something in that that I can learn and I can apply to other aspects of my life. And so if at the very least that's what you do, then I think that's the way to go. I think that's what's going to allow us all to live a fruitful, holistic, well-balanced life. And I think it's good to be good at a lot of things than okay at just one. So any advice on filmmaking? I love films and want to make them and further them in storytelling. Specifically, I ask if you have any advice on reaching your audience through storytelling. Yeah, the advice I've been getting a lot and the advice that I would give is write what you know. I know that might sound cliche if you've watched all those motivational videos on YouTube, but man, like look at me right now in the eyes. You are here for a reason. You are a full, complex human being with your own story, with your own experience, with your own heart, with your own tragedies. And don't squander that, man. Like, you don't have to take yourself too seriously, but don't overlook what makes you special. You know what I mean? Don't overlook why you're here. You know, fulfill that purpose, man. And if your purpose is to take what's on your heart and give it to the world, then do that. Do that in whatever way you can. I think filmmakers are some of the most amazing people who do that. You've been through something no one else has been through. And even if you've been through something that everybody has been through, that's even better. You're already connected, right? That's half the work. So then what are you trying to teach your audience, right? Think about the effect that you're trying to have on your audience too. Right? We have people from all walks of life in this community. Younger generation, higher generation. I'm trying to reach that higher generation through stuff that I've been through, a part of those generations, while also looking to inspire our future generation to not make the mistakes that we did, to approach their life, take it in their hands and run with it, to say no when you're supposed to say no, you know what I mean? To not like cave to some type of authority, right? To not give control of your life to other people who think they know best. Because the truth is, no one is you, man. No one is you, and any of you watching, no one is you. No one is you. And that's what's special. That's a story already right there. That's something that I think has intrinsic value. So whatever you're interested in, whatever you have, whatever is your way of expressing who you are, that is, I think, that's the technique of art. I think what makes things fail or what makes things not as fulfilled or not as full as they could be is when you're you, but you're trying to be someone else. And so that's something that I've run into a lot in this process as well is, all right, well, when am I trying to sound like this? When am I trying to write like Aaron Sorkin? When am I trying to hit this moment like Sam Raimi did? And I'm like, it's not about that, man. It's about my truth. It's about my experience. And I know you guys don't know a lot about the full why of why we're even doing this project and my history as a person. And all of that is connected to the story that we're telling and is connected to our version of Spider-Man and is connected to when we launch this production fully and we have the Indiegogo up. You guys are going to learn so much more about me and about the why of this project. And I'm not shying away from that. Because for so long, I let that be a part of me that was a curse, I guess, right? And sometimes you have to reevaluate your curses and realize that they're gifts and then utilize them as such. Yeah, more tips for filmmakers starting out. Another one is like, dude, we all have phones, some aspect of phones. It's not about quality. Something I see so many times too, and it's easy to get wrapped up in, especially when we have like pretty high quality fan films and stuff coming out. Don't be fooled by quality. Don't prioritize quality. Whoa. Go back. Yeah, okay. I want to be very clear on this because if I muddy this, then it's muddy for you. Don't be fooled by having some type of thing that's right, like high quality, right? Like I need the best camera to make the best fan film. I need to shoot in 4K. I need to have all these things. That understand that that's a mindset that's stemming from some type of lack within you. If you are lacking in here, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't feel like already with just a phone, I have what it takes to tell a story, to tell a good story, to hold people's attention, then you've already failed because that's all it takes. You don't need $1 million equipment. You don't need to be in Hollywood. You don't need this, that. You don't need, you know what I mean, $1 million CGI to tell a good story, guys. Because what we care about is the heart of a character, how they overcome struggles, right? So don't struggle yourself, putting yourself down because you feel like you're ill equipped, because you don't have XYZ. All you need is you. All you need is your voice. And if you're trying to channel that through filmmaking, guys, boom, you got a phone. These phones are so so advanced now. You can make a film there. All right? And the truth is, the best advice is don't wait for someone to give you opportunities, go make yours. I'm making this fan film out of a labor of love and because I'm an actor, right? That's my career. But I'm not going to sit around and just wait for people to give me an opportunity. I'm not going to audition my half my life and then I get a cast in one thing and then like boom, you know, I spent my whole life doing that and never using my own voice, never being an artist for my own sake. I'm making this because this project is me as well. It's my who am I? It's this is who I am, this is what I'm capable of doing. So let everything you make be this is who I am, this is what I'm capable of doing, man. You're gonna have a portfolio of all this stuff. You're gonna see yourself grow through the art that you're able to make over the years, and you're gonna have something to give people. And it's gonna help you get better, man. Make something. And if it's no good, it's okay. Figure out why it's no good, and then make something again. Fix what you did before, make it better. Great, this works better. Why does this work better? Boom, go make something else. The more you guys make, the more experience you get, the more you're gonna learn, right? You can be in class, you can sit, you can listen, but man, you might not be growing, you might not be learning just because someone's telling you stuff. You got to go out and make those opportunities yourself. You got to go out and experience. You got to go out and create stuff. You got to fail, you got to fall, you know, but you got to get back up. So make as much as you can, but spend time with every one thing. Don't just feel like, okay, I got to make 20 stuff. Once I make 20 films, I'm going to be great. It's like if you made 20 films in a couple months, it's like you didn't work to make them that great. You know, spend a couple months on one film alone, just figuring out the ideas, man, figuring out what makes this work. Why do people need to hear this? That's exactly what we're doing with Spider-Man alone, you know, which is why we're in the stages that we are right now. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And everybody here right now that's here from the beginning, like I said, when you see this project through and you see the end result, you're gonna know. It's gonna be a testament to exactly what I'm saying. Um, yeah, that's super kind. Calling me an inspiration for fan making and filmmaking, for fan filmmaking and filmmaking. You know, that makes me feel truly honored that there's something I'm offering that is of use to anybody out there. And the truth is, like, I'm inspired by you guys just as much. I know that there's so much potential already within this community and so much potential to come out of this community. And if there's one thing that I can do is make you believe in yourself by just showing that it's possible, by, you know, having this unwilling determination to commit to your dreams, to commit to your passions and just see things through, um, then I've already succeeded because you guys are going to do that same thing and you're going to change the world. So it's just a matter of like, let's change the world together. Let's inspire each other. Let's do this together. Like, none of us are really alone. We feel alone in our struggles, but we're all going through the same struggles at different times. So how can I teach about the struggle I've endured and maybe make it easier for you when you do it, and vice versa? And if we can hold ourselves accountable like that, and if we can hold each other like that, like one greater family, then I think we're all going to get ahead at the same pace, you know. And to me, success isn't about one thing doing good or all this money or anything. It's about like what type of community can I build with people, and how can we inspire each other, and how can we all grow together? To me, it's not just about me. So I'm so excited to continue, like I said, in this production, in this process of launching this series, of getting the Indiegogo up and just connecting with you guys more, and allowing this to really be a community-led fan project. Because it's about all of us, and it's only possible with all of us. Thanks for inspiring me and my friend. We're creating our Daredevil short. Heck yeah. Go for it. Daredevil's a great character. There's so many ways to approach that character. So much nuance, so much depth, so many interesting stories. The religious aspect, whether you're religious or not, doesn't matter. It's really interesting talking about moral, talking about right and wrong, talking about good and evil. And at the very least, it's this conflict. It's a metaphor even for the internal conflict that's always raging within this character and how he chooses to express that, you know? And it's interesting, his name is Daredevil, but he's a hero. So there's so many ways to reinvent these characters. There's so many ways to approach them. And there's so many ways for anything to really be inspiring. And so, uh, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a character by its cover. I think with right intentions, with good intentions, and and good actions as well, right? Because you have to act on those intentions. I think anybody can be a hero. And I truly believe that of you guys right now on this live. I truly believe that of all of our audience over YouTube and Instagram thus far. And I believe that of the entire community that we're going to build over the course of, this next year making this series. And like I said, you guys inspire me just as much. I really believe in all of you guys. I think you're heroes. And thank you for believing in me and letting me be a hero in my own right. It's all I could ever ask for. And I'm so ready to put my heart out and give it to you guys and truly change the world in whatever way we can. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I think that's a great way to end. Some great questions you guys have asked, and again, if you're still here, thank you so much. Go to Instagram, follow at Spider-Man Alone series, DM, comment on our posts, guys. Tell us what you want to see. Next live we do, throw out some of your ideas, man. Like, I think it'd be so dope if I was part of a fan film and I just was like, hey, I think this could be a cool thing to go, and then they adapt that, and then I see my idea, my vision translated into something I can watch forever, something I can show my kids, and so, like, have that legacy, believe in yourself enough to feel like you have something worth offering. And not every idea is going to stick, not every idea is going to be the best, but like, when we continue searching, when we continue giving, we're bound to strike gold. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Golden Century Films. This is Spider-Man Alone, and happy Halloween, guys. Be safe. Have a good night. Thank you.